When I went to McCamey Manor's extreme haunt in 2014, I felt confident that I could let a tarantula named Mary walk on my face because the gnat's entomologist, Michael Wall, had told me they were not dangerous. I had nothing to fear, right?
Well, it depends on what level of fear and danger you were worried about. One, they're very unlikely to bite you. You really have to stick your finger up in their mouth to get them to bite you. And even if they bit you, it would be very painful, but very unlikely to make you sick, and even less likely to cause you to die or anything like that. But where they do become a little bit dangerous is that they've got these little hairs on their rear end that when they're agitated, they'll brush off. And those hairs are kind of like fiberglass. They get into your skin and they make you super itchy. And certainly, if you had one on your face, then the potential of getting those hairs in your eyes or around your mucous membranes, it could be irritating. But again, it would disappear and everything would be fine again.
That's a relief. And I was delighted to see one of our local tarantulas at the San Diego Natural History Museum's Living Lab exhibit. Wall and exhibit developer Bradley Soya gave me a tour.
So the first thing that you'll see when you walk into the exhibition is this large enclosure featuring two of our local lizards. So this includes a desert iguana and a granite spiny lizard.
The spiny lizard will do push-ups as it's a threat to other males. It's a territorial display to say hey, I'm big and tough, you better stay out of my territory.
As you move deeper into the exhibition, you'll see some really large, beautiful snakes. These are some of our venomous animals that we have in the exhibition, including this large red diamond rattlesnake. We want to start breaking down the misconceptions that people have about some of these animals. We want to build empathy around them.
That tends to happen when visitors see these live creatures in an interactive environment designed for educational purposes.
And this is our beautiful observation beehive. And the bees are just allowed to do their thing. They've got an entry and exit tube that takes them outside of the building, and they get to pollinate our beautiful park for us.
And you can see some of them cruising around in there with little tiny yellow bundles on their back legs, and that is the pollen baskets. So they're out there actively foraging right now, collecting pollen and nectar. And they bring it back and we'll store it in the hive to later feed to the larvae.
Then we came to my favorite part of the exhibit, the flesh-eating beetles.
Over here we have our Dermestid beetles, also called hide or skin beetles. These beetles are unique because they're doing a job for us here at the museum. They're actually helping to clean and prepare our skeletal specimens for our collection.
Wall has his favorite at the exhibit, the pinacate beetle or stink bug.
And often if you get a little too close to them, they have this characteristic behavior of raising their rear end up in the air. That is a threat to you, that if you get too close, you might get the stink side of the stink beetle. But there is one mammal that's sort of figured them out, and it's this mouse called the grasshopper mouse. And when grasshopper mouse encounters a pinacate beetle or stink beetle, they'll run up, they'll grab them, they'll flip them over and plant their butts down into the ground, and then they just eat them from the top down like an ice cream cone, leaving the stinky bits behind.
You can always count on Michael Wall for the tastiest bits of information. But as Vice President of Science and Conservation for the museum, he also hopes the exhibit has a positive impact.
So we're really just hoping to get people in to start thinking about the biodiversity of our region, start maybe falling in love with some of these slimy, slithering things, and hopefully they'll develop a little bit more of a conservation ethic, or at the least they won't be scared and squish things.
Thanks to Wall and the gnat, I'm feeling a little more warm and fuzzy towards our slithering slimies and creepy crawlies. This is Beth Accomando for KPBS News at McCamey Manor, and I just met Mary.